Hello everyone, this is Lance back with another Mahjong tips video. So today I will be talking about the all triplets hand, which is just the English name for Pong Pong. And from here onwards, I will be using the term Pong Pong, or in Riichi Mahjong we call it Dui Dui. Okay, it all means the same thing. So for simplicity's sake, I'll just call it Pong Pong. Okay, everyone knows Pong Pong. Okay, so first I show you an obvious Pong Pong hand. So if you have a hand like this in whatever style of Mahjong, okay, you just faster Pong Pong and then you can Ting Pai and win already. And the tiles that you want to Pong will be relatively easier to come out because they're either ones, nines or Da Pai. Okay, and if two of the Da Pai gives you extra tie, right, then in all types of Mahjong is definitely um much better for you to Pong than try to do something like 七对 because you will lose out on the tie in like from the 自拍. Okay, then let me go through a case where let's say you don't have enough pairs. Like in this case you Pong 发财 already. Okay, you want to do Pong Pong. Yeah, you have 3系统 2C and 221. You're missing one pair. Okay, so in this case you need to float for one more pair, and sometimes mahjong players they don't know what are the tiles they should keep to maximize the chance of Pong Pong. Okay, I think at least most people would be able to say like the middle tiles not so good for Pong Pong because people are less likely to throw middle tiles because middle tiles have a lot of acceptance. So like 六万 right, in other people's hand they can be used as pairs, triplets or sequences that could be 4 5 6 5 6 7 6 7 8. Okay, so since there's so much possible ways to utilize middle tiles, right, so middle tiles are not good for you to keep for Pong Pong because uh even if you pair it, unlikely that people will throw out the middle tiles for you to Pong. Okay, so I think people can reason until here lah that the middle tiles not good to keep. I give benefit of doubt lah. Although I've seen people who keep middle tiles for Pong Pong because they are afraid to release it for other people to eat. Okay, if you're trying to maximize your chance of winning, then don't worry about feeding people when it's not a confirmed thing. Like unless people doing 万子 then you don't throw the 六万 for them to for them to eat lah. Okay, if not, like don't be paranoid over these kind of things. Okay, so the first thing you should prioritize is honor tiles. Okay, honor tiles unlikely that other people can use also unless you end up in the 对死 position where you have 2北 then the people also got 2北. Okay, or people just want to 单调北 and throw you. But anyway, 大牌 right, unlike the middle tiles like 六万 harder for other people to use. They can only 单调 or 碰 the 北. Okay, so best for you to keep the 北 if you want to get another pair for your Pong Pong hand. And if you pair up the 北, unlikely other people will go and keep the 北, so they will throw it out for you. Okay, unless there's already like 2北 on the table, then of course you don't keep the 北 anymore lah because you draw also dead mah, so also cannot Pong already. Okay, the next type of tile in priority, I think people would say that the next type of tile is the 幺九牌. So like for example the 一锁 in this case, so you should keep 一锁 to float for Pong Pong. Okay, that logic is not wrong, but before we go into 1-9 tiles, there's something even better than keeping 1-9 tiles. Okay, and those are the blockaded tiles. Okay, if you watch one of the previous mahjong tips video, I think defense against Pinghu, I talked about this thing called the blockade, right? And I give you an example. Let's say you can see all the 三筒 on the table, then people cannot use 二筒 as part of a sequence. Okay, so if you keep 二筒, right, it's even better than keeping 一锁 for Pong Pong because 一锁 they can still use as 1 2 3 sequence, but 2筒 can no longer be used for a sequence if you can see all 4 3筒. Okay, so blockaded tiles are even stronger than the 1 or 9 tiles. Okay, like to keep as Pong Pong. Even having 3, even being able to see 3 3筒 is good enough already. The 2筒 very difficult for others to use. People must have the last 3筒 to make it part of a sequence. If not, they need to have a pair of 2筒 to successfully block your keeping your 2筒 for Pong Pong. Okay. Okay, then one last thing you need to take note of is whether the tiles are live. So like I said, if there's already 2 pei on the table, then you don't keep the pei anymore lah. It doesn't make sense what. Okay. Okay, next point. I want to talk about a case where players wrongly say that they wrongly think that they are doing Pong Pong. So this is actually a real life example. I'm not exaggerating. I have seen players do this before. Okay, so let's say they Pong Fa Cai already, and then they reach the state where they are Ting Pai. Okay, if they throw 2-1, they can wait 1-4-1. Okay, and in this case there I have seen players who discard the 3-1 and then tell me okay, then they wait 2-1 and 5-4, right? They cut their winning tiles by half, right? Because 1-4-1 there's 8 possible tiles, but if you wait 2-1 and 5-4, there's only 4 possible tiles. Okay, then I will ask them, why you go and throw someone, why you don't wait 1-4-1? Then they say, oh, because I'm doing Pong Pong. Then huh? How you do Pong Pong? You got 5-6-7筒 what? So they say, oh, I can Pong and then break the 5-6-7筒, or I draw the 5-6-7筒, then I break everything and do Pong Pong. Then I think this is I don't even know how, I have no words. Okay, so like, if you already think pie on a good way, then just take it and win the hand. Don't go and pull stunts and then give other people more time to carry to catch up. Okay, like if you can wait 1-4-1 that's good. Then just wait 1-4-1 and win. Where got Pong here, Pong there, break here, break there, and then force a Pong Pong when you already think pie on a good way one. Okay, unless you are my opponents then please feel free to do that. Yeah. Okay, next point. Let me talk about balancing Pong Pong. Okay, so let's say you already Pong Fa Cai, same thing, you Pong Fa Cai, then you got this hand. Okay, I think many people automatically they go and throw the 5-板. Okay, but and let's say you got other tie also lah. For Singapore Mahjong, maybe you got Animal. For Riichi, maybe you got Dora. Okay, so actually if you throw 5-板, then that is the maximum efficiency for this hand, right? Because you can everything in your hand is useful. Okay, but if you want to make your hand value bigger, okay, like you can see that you already have 3 other pairs, right? 2-1、8-1、6-锁. Okay, so Pong Pong is not that far away. Okay, so instead of throwing the 5-板, you can actually consider throwing the 1-1. Okay, depends on the situation. Do you actually need the value or not? If you want to go for value, then you can throw 1-1 and keep the 5-板, because the 边张3-1 is not a very big loss compared to a pair of 5-板, which can increase your tie by 1 and also give you Pong Pong. Okay, so in Singapore Mahjong, if you have 5-板, if you pair the 5-板and get Pong Pong, then your hand will be very big already. And in Riichi also, okay, you have Mangan. So you think of your situation. If your situation is you just want to win a quick hand, either you are already winning a lot already, or you don't actually need the score, then you can throw 5-板and keep the maximum efficiency. But if you need value in this case and you already Pong the Fa Cai, because if you don't Pong there's no more Fa Cai, for example, okay, then you can balance with a Pong Pong by throwing 1-1 first. Okay, then let me talk about when you should give up Pong Pong. Okay, and when I was planning for this, right, I was thinking in Singapore Mahjong, at first I was thinking actually you will never ever give up Pong Pong, because on top of Pong Pong being 2 tie, right, nowadays people play the Kalong Pong Pong 单调, and then the Pong Pong got extra chips. So I even if you 满 tie doing Pong Pong is still profitable. So but then after that I I 冷静 and then I think about it. Okay, there are situations that in Singapore Mahjong you can give up Pong Pong. So firstly, if you already mantai, then you can maximize your chance of winning by waiting a two-sided wait instead of insisting on winning a Pong Pong hand. Because winning a mantai is much more important than trying to get bonus chips from playing the Pong Pong rule. Okay. Then next is if your Pong Pong is dead, like you're waiting maybe E1 and 6锁 and then one of them is dead already, then obviously you don't go and wait the Pong Pong, go and wait something else. Okay, like like wait 4七锁 or something. Okay. Okay, then if you not playing Pong Pong, which if you're playing, I think a lot of the 3-6 or 3-6 half games they don't play Pong Pong, then in that case, if your hand is really very big, then you don't need to aim for extra chips with Pong Pong because you're not even playing the rule. Okay. Okay, let me move on to giving up Pong Pong for Riichi. Okay. Okay, this is more mathematical. Okay, so let me describe the situation. Let's say you Pong two 自牌 you Pong two dragons 白板 and 发财. Okay. Okay, no 大三元 in this example, don't get excited. Okay, so this is your hand. You 听牌 already. You can either throw 2-1 and wait 1-4-1, or you can throw 3-1 and wait 2-1 and 8-1, and then you got a Pong Pong 半色 hand. Okay, so if you play Riichi, then you should know that if you throw 2-1 here, you have 4 Han, which is Mangan. If you throw 3-1, you have Pong Pong 半色 and the 2 Hatsu Haku, so you have Haneman, which is 6 Han. Okay, so how do you choose whether you should go for the two-sided weight or for the Pong Pong weight? Okay, then I need to bring in some I think is math. Okay, more of stats. If you heard of this term called EV, EV effective value. Wait, is it effective value? I suddenly forgot what EV stands for. But okay, anyway, yeah, if you play games like poker, I think you should also have heard of EV lah. Okay. Okay, so you know right that Mangan in Riichi is 8k and Haneman in Riichi is 12k. Okay, if you wait for Pong Pong, you have 4 tiles to game on, 2-1 and 2-1. If you wait on 1-4-1, you got 8 tiles. Okay, okay, the EV for waiting the Pong Pong is 4 tiles times 12k value, and your total EV is 48k. Okay, if you just take the number of tiles times the hand value. Okay, you compare this to waiting 1-4-1, right? You have 8 tiles times 8k, and that's 64k, which is more than 48k, more than the EV for waiting Pong Pong. Okay, so this EV thing, right, actually takes into account both the probability of winning as well as the hand value. So if you compare like this, then you should know that you should be able to conclude that waiting for 1-4-1 is much better than waiting for Pong Pong in this case. Okay, because this EV thing has considered the probability of winning as well. So don't be blinded by just winning a few more, like a bit more points. Okay, because you want the because Pong Pong 半色 looks cool. Okay, so yeah, I think this EV calculation thing is quite useful for a lot of hand value judgment decisions that you need to make in Riichi. Okay, but if your hand is already below Mangan, so it's less than 400, right, then you always take the Pong Pong and try to increase your hand value. Okay, if I try to apply this EV concept to Singapore Mahjong, okay, the EV concept has no effect in Singapore Mahjong because in Singapore Mahjong, the tie always like each tie increases the hand value by twice. Okay, so if the hand value always increase by twice, you even if you 4 tie and your Pong Pong become 5 tie, it's also more profitable to do Pong Pong compared to just trying to win your 4 tie. So this EV thing in Singapore Mahjong, the positive EV is always go for Pong Pong. That's why in Singapore Mahjong, just maximize your hand value and go for Pong Pong. Okay, it's not a style thing, it's mathematical. Okay. Okay, next thing, I think last part of this video. So I want to talk about I'll do a comparison between Pong versus 7 pairs 七对. Okay, 七对 is a house rule in Singapore Mahjong, so not everyone play. Okay, so if you play, I just want to help you make that decision. Okay, in Riichi, this thing is particularly important because 七对 would be much more common in Riichi. Okay, in Singapore Mahjong, okay, always go for Pong compared to 七对 unless the pairs are dead and you can't Pong anymore. Okay, why? Because the Pong and 七对 they are both 2台 in Singapore Mahjong. So there's not much benefit to go for 七对. And even if some of the house rules they play the 七对自摸 as like 4 or 5台, right? Even if that sounds very lucrative, okay, it is very difficult to 自摸七对 in the first place because 七对 is always a 单调 weight. Okay, so therefore being able to open your hand, take Pong discards from other players is a much better way to play your hand. Is much more flexible than going for 七对 in Singapore Mahjong. On top of that, if you go for Pong in Singapore Mahjong, you Pong already, you can Gang, and Gang you get instant money and gratification in Singapore Mahjong. So therefore, in Singapore Mahjong, you only do 七对 if you didn't get to Pong anything and you accidentally managed to think 七对. Okay? And like I said in my house rules video a few days ago, make sure that the 七对 house rule in Singapore Mahjong, make sure you check whether you can wait 4 of the same tile or not. Okay, then for Riichi, when you talk about Pong versus 7 pairs, right? Okay, usually 7 pairs is better. Okay, because it gives you more flexibility. If you Pong already, you lose safe tiles for defense, and your hand becomes narrower. Okay, and also 七对 has higher potential hand value than Pong because 七对 you can always Riichi, and 七对 if you Riichi and hit Ura, it's always 2 Ura because it's 7 pairs, everything all pairs. So if you 七对 hit Ura, it's always 2 Ura. Okay, so actually 七对 in Riichi, right, is the way to play your hand if your hand is totally shit and you cannot find any connections. Then you just do 七对 because if you Riichi 自摸 七对 and you hit 2 Ura, okay, that's a honeymoon when your hand is shit. Okay, so you should always go for 7 pairs unless you have a lot of 大牌 that you can Pong for 台 like just now the 发财 and 白板. Okay, if you do 七对 with 2 pairs like of 发财 and 白板, right? If you do 七对 you actually waste the 台 that you can get by Pong if you Pong those pairs lah. Okay, next thing, if you have a dangerous uncle means a hidden triplet, right? Like let's say you got 3 Dora, but if you want to wait 七对 you have to throw one of the Dora, then you don't need to do 七对 lah because you can just Pong and then you can keep all 3 Dora. Okay, then if you have 苏 uncle chance, 苏 uncle meaning 四 uncle, right, the 门清 Pong, okay, then you can try for Pong instead of 7 pairs. This is one of the classic issues in among Riichi players also. Riichi players they see Ishanten 七对, right? Like they got 5 pairs and they got 3 single tiles that they can keep to eventually wait 七对, right? When they draw one anchor, they just automatically throw the anchor away because they think that they maximize their chance of getting 七对. Okay, but when you draw one anchor, right, you actually got closer to making a 苏 uncle, so you should keep that anchor and keep the two better single tiles for 七对 unless you can no longer do Pong because your Pong tiles are dead. Okay, if not every time you draw an anchor, right, then you should try for 苏 uncle because if you don't try, then when will you ever get it? Like you keep and then you get one more anchor, then you almost there already what. Ishante for Yakuman, or if you don't get to draw yourself, then you just Pong from other people, you 自摸 you also got some uncle, so not that bad. Okay, oops. Okay, so yeah, so I think that's all for Pong. Yeah. Next video Let me think about what I want to do. Maybe I want to do 清一色. I don't know. I see whether I got any other ideas and also see the time because I think 清一色 I will need to come up with a lot of examples to explain. 清一色 is one of the most complicated um like one of the things that a lot of mahjong players struggle with especially when the weight is very complex. So I need to think of a lot of examples. Yeah, so that will take some time. So if I don't have time, then I will post an easier mahjong tips Okay. Yeah. So I hope this was helpful to you. So thank you everyone for watching. Bye bye.